I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
I'm on a world tour.
A what?
A world tour.
Doing what?
Hard to explain. A world tour. I'm Justin Timberlake.
Welcome back to FameThunder. Let's be real for a second, because this clip is painful in a very specific way. This is not just about a Justin Timberlake moment. This is about watching someone who built their entire image on being smooth, controlled, media-trained suddenly look completely lost. And that's why it hits so hard. Because look at that clip. He's not answering. He's stalling. His brain is clearly trying to catch up with the situation, but the confidence just isn't there. And once that illusion cracks, you can't unsee it. Now stay with me because it gets worse the more you look at it. Now here's the part people aren't saying out loud. This is likely why he wouldn't want this video released. Not because of the legal situation. Celebrities survive those all the time. It's the image damage. It's the moment people start thinking, oh, he's not that guy anymore. And if you want real breakdowns like this, not PR filtered stories, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and stay locked in with FameThunder. The second people smell weakness, awkwardness, or just human messiness from someone who's been positioned as untouchable, this isn't just cringe, it's secondhand identity collapse. You're watching a polished celebrity persona glitch in real time. This isn't just a bad moment, this is a reveal. This is the moment the public starts seeing him differently. Let's slow this down for a second because the situation itself is actually pretty simple, but the way it unfolded is what makes it interesting. Justin Timberlake was pulled over and charged with a DUI. That alone is not shocking. Celebrities get into legal trouble all the time, and usually it follows a very predictable pattern. A statement gets released, a lawyer steps in, the story fades, and the public moves on. But that's not what happened here. Because this wasn't just about the stop, this was about the footage. The video you're seeing comes from police body cam recording, and normally, this kind of material either takes time to surface or never really becomes a viral moment. But in this case, it got out, and once it hit the internet, the narrative completely shifted. This stopped being about what he did, and it became about how he handled it. You can literally see the disconnect in real time.
You blow into it like you're blowing a balloon? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Because, you know, man, like,
Alright, I'll take you right on.
The hesitation, the awkward responses, the lack of that polished, media-trained confidence people are used to seeing from him. And that's the part that people locked onto immediately. People online are not even talking about the arrest anymore. They're talking about how he acted. That's the difference. Because a charge can be managed, a headline can be spun, but behavior like that, caught on camera, unfiltered, that's much harder to control. And once people see it, they start reevaluating everything they thought they knew about you. And that's exactly why this video matters more than the incident itself. And this is where things really take a turn, because the internet didn't react the way you might expect. Usually, with something like this, you get split opinions. Some people defend, some people criticize, and it balances out. Not this time. The dominant reaction across platforms has been very unified, and not in a good way. People are watching that clip and having the exact same response almost instantly. This is hard to watch. Not even anger, not even outrage, just discomfort. Then you start seeing comments like, "He looks lost," and that one keeps repeating. Different users, different platforms, same wording. Lost, confused, not in control. And then, the one that really sticks, what happened to him? That question hits different because it's not about this one situation. It implies a bigger shift, like people are comparing who they thought he was to what they're seeing now, and something doesn't match. And the key thing here is this is not a small group of people nitpicking. This is the general tone. Scroll through any comment section, any repost, any discussion thread, and it's the same energy repeating over and over again. That's when it stops being just opinions and starts becoming a narrative. Because once enough people say the same thing, it feels true, even if no one planned it. And if you're watching this thinking, okay, it felt off to me too, that's exactly why this is spreading so fast. You're not alone in that reaction. And that's what makes this kind of moment stick. This is where the real shift happens, and it has nothing to do with the charge itself. It's about identity. For years, Justin Timberlake has been positioned as the cool guy, the one who always knew what to say, how to move, how to control a room. Smooth, calculated, charismatic. Even in interviews, even on stage, even in controversy, there was always this sense that he had control over the narrative. That was the brand, the confidence, the timing, the charm. It all felt intentional. Now compare that to what people are seeing in this clip. There's hesitation. His responses feel off. The body language is tight, almost guarded. Instead of leading the moment, he's reacting to it. Instead of control, there's uncertainty. And that contrast is uncomfortable to watch because it breaks a long-standing perception. You're not just watching a bad moment. You're watching a version of him that doesn't match the image people have held onto for years. And once that gap becomes visible, people start questioning everything else. Was the confidence always real? Was the persona just well managed? Has something changed recently? Or was this always underneath? That's how fast perception shifts. Because the cool guy doesn't hesitate like that. The cool guy doesn't look unsure. The cool guy definitely doesn't lose control of the situation on camera. But this version does. And once people see that shift, they don't go back. And right when you think this is just about one awkward moment, the internet does what it always does. It goes backwards. Because suddenly people aren't just reacting to the clip, they're connecting dots. You start seeing old conversations resurface, old interviews, old headlines, and two names keep coming up again and again. Britney Spears and Janet Jackson, the Britney situation. People are revisiting how that entire breakup narrative was handled. Who controlled the story? Who benefited from it? And more importantly, how public perception was shaped back then versus how people see it now. Then, the Super Bowl 38 halftime show controversy with Janet Jackson. That moment has been debated for years, but now people are looking at it through a different lens, asking why the fallout affected her career so heavily, while he managed to move forward without the same level of damage. And this is where it all connects. Because this moment didn't create doubt, it reminded people of everything. It's like the video gave people permission to question him again, to go back and reanalyze situations they had already accepted. And once that door opens, it doesn't stay contained to one incident. It becomes a pattern in people's minds. Fair or not, that's how internet memory works now. One clip turns into a timeline. And suddenly, you're not just dealing with what happened last night. You're dealing with everything that ever felt unresolved. And this is the exact point where the story shifts from watching to questioning. Because up until now, you could still frame this as just a bad moment. Wrong place, wrong time, bad decisions. That's easy to process. But once you've seen the clip, read the reactions, and watched old stories resurface, it stops feeling that simple. So here's the real question people are starting to ask. Is this just one bad moment? Or is this the version of Justin Timberlake people have been ignoring? And notice how different those two options are. One protects the image. It says nothing has really changed. This is temporary. The other rewrites everything. Because if this is who he actually is under pressure without the team, without the timing, without the control, then the cool guy image starts to look more like a performance than a personality. And that's uncomfortable. Not just for him, but for the audience too. Because people don't like realizing they might have been sold a version of someone that wasn't fully real. It creates that moment of doubt where you start replaying everything in your head. Old interviews, old decisions, old narratives. And suddenly, you're not just watching a clip anymore. You're reassessing a person. And once a viewer gets to that point, they don't just scroll past, they stay. They think, they pick a side. And this is where the media game comes in, because none of this happens by accident. Celebrities don't just exist in chaos. There's always a system behind them. Teams, PR managers, legal advisors, people whose entire job is to control how the story looks from the outside.
Right now, he's under arrest
Under arrest?
for driving while intoxicated.
Stop it. Justin Timberlake's under arrest. Can you help me, please? Can we do anything? Can you please stop it? I'll do anything.
And usually, it works. If something goes wrong, the first move is containment. Keep the footage from getting out, delay it, bury it, or release a polished statement before anything real surfaces. Shape the narrative before the public even sees the raw version. That's the playbook, and in a situation like this, it's very likely there was an attempt to keep that video from going public.
Can you guys please just do me a favor because you loved Bye 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 or like Sexy Back? One favor.
Because once people see unfiltered behavior, you lose control of interpretation. No edits, no scripting, no media training, just you. And that's risky, because PR can manage headlines, but it can't fully erase a visual moment that people can replay, pause, and analyze frame by frame. And here's the reality shift. In 2026, nothing stays hidden. It might be delayed, it might be negotiated, but if something exists, especially footage like this, it finds its way out. And when it does, it hits harder because people know it wasn't meant to be seen. That creates a different kind of attention. Not just curiosity, but suspicion. People start asking, what else was controlled? What else didn't we see? And that's the dangerous part. Because once the audience starts questioning the system behind the image, not just the person, control is already gone. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, something feels off here, that's exactly the point. Because most people don't break these moments down. They just scroll past headlines and repeat whatever PR version gets pushed out first. Here, we don't do that. We look at what's actually happening, how the narrative shifts, and why people suddenly start seeing celebrities differently. So, if you want real breakdowns like this, the kind that actually make you rethink what you're watching, hit subscribe. And don't just subscribe. Turn on notifications, because these stories don't wait. They evolve fast, and the next shift usually happens when no one expects it. Drop a like if you felt that shift too, and stay close. Because every time something like this surfaces, it's never just one story, it's a pattern. And that's the part people still can't fully decide on, because it's easy to call this a mistake, a bad night, a moment that got out of hand. But that's not what's keeping people watching. What's keeping people watching is the uncertainty, the feeling that something shifted, and it's not going back to how it was before. So now the question isn't really about what happened, it's about what this means. This might be the beginning of people finally seeing Justin Timberlake clearly.